Well, I've come to realise that the NMC performance is really poor, and that's not because of anyone at the NMC wanting it to be poor. They've lost their way in a lot of areas, but I think it's the entire design of the NMC. I think it was designed in Victorian times. Florence Nightingale and Edith Cavell are long dead. It doesn't belong in those times anymore. We're in a completely new era now, and it just doesn't fit our era. I think it's a very Victorian system, and it doesn't suit our way of life anymore. You know, it should not be a judicial process. I've got absolutely no doubt about that. It should be a process of help and putting the people back together again. So the NMC performance, I don't ever really hold out much hope, I must be honest, because whenever I hear them try and put themselves together and say they're going to change and they're going to do this and they're going to do that, I always take it with a pinch of salt, because I know that without changing it fundamentally from the very beginning, they're always on a losing wicket. Right now, the NMC performance is it uses public money. It uses our money from our registration fee to spend millions and millions of pounds upon solicitors and barristers to attack nurses, to prove they're not fit for purpose and get them off the register. But it uses our money fundamentally to protect the public. And my feeling is that if it's going to protect the public, it should be public money. Our money should be used for us. So what I'd like to see is, I'd like them to, I'm not saying they shouldn't take our money, but I'm just saying they should spend it differently. They should take nurses' money and spend it on putting nurses back together again. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that when a nurse comes to the NMC, they should come to the NMC through the fitness to practice process, and the automatic view of the NMC should be, we need to put this person back together again. They're an asset to society, and we need to value them and put them back together. Whatever's gone wrong, we need to put them right. It might be training, it might be they've lost their way, it might be something they've done wrong, but we shouldn't be putting them through a guilty or innocent process. We should be putting them through a are they repairable process, and looking to themselves to do that. You know, I always say this, doctors are really good at taking care of each other because they've got a process by which, and an organisation to do it. Pharmacists, social workers, they're all quite good. Nurses are awful at taking care of each other. And the reason they're awful at taking care of each other is because of the system. You will go to court and you will go to a hearing at Fitness to Practice, and the whole point of the hearing is to prove them right about their allegations. It's not to get to the truth, or get to the truth and find you've done something wrong and then forgive you and put you back together again, which it should be. You know, I think that one of the things for me is they have a code of conduct by which they want us to treat people. But they don't treat us by that code. They do not have a duty of candour towards us. They tell us the truth when it suits them. They do not have a willingness to make us the best we can be or as healthy as possible. They do not aim for redemption or remediation. They leave it up to us, basically. So the reason that the NMC's performance is really important to me, most of all, is because I think it's shocking that they're using this Victorian type approach in 2025, you know, for nurses who've really done little wrong, you know, just lost their way. Right? At some point, the NMC determined that you or I was fit and proper person to join the register. And I think their money should be spent on making us a fit and proper person again, regardless. Why did you do what you do? Why did it happen? What are the circumstances? What can we do to help you? That's not what they do. You come there with all the evidence you can muster, which is terrible because you don't have any and you're under the cosh and you can't access anything and you're suspended. So you're really at a disadvantage, and you go up against paid barristers funded by your registration fee who will just drag you over the coals and want to win the case. They don't care if the evidence is on their side or yours. They're a barrister. They're programmed to want to win. So when I went back after 9 years off the register, they were more than happy to rehash my big file and prove it all over again, having investigated nothing of the intervening 9 years while I've been away. They didn't know I was sober. They didn't know I had my life back together. They didn't know I'd become an electrician and a HGV lorry driver. They didn't know that I'd been in the army. They didn't know that I was working as a bus driver and was in a position of responsibility dealing with difficult people. They didn't know anything about my lifestyle, but they were happy with their barrister to find a file from 9 years ago and reprove it. You know, the amount of times just the stress of fitness to practice has hurt people. It's unbelievable. The amount of times people have given up, even though they've got no case to answer. I bet we don't measure it. It's an awful process. So their performance and the kindness that they demonstrate to their charges, their nurses, is really important to me, because I don't think there is any, to be quite frank about it.